The most richest people around the world are also diagnosed with ADHD. So you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 reasons why people with ADHD always end up being rich. So before we dive in, please do well to give this video a like. The first reason is that their brain is an idea factory. While the average person sits down to solve one problem, the ADHD brain is already solving 7 problems that nobody asked about. Scientists call this divergent thinking. But what it really means is that the ADHD brain physically cannot think inside the box because it lost the box somewhere in 2009 and never looked for it. Research confirms that people with ADHD consistently outscore everyone else on generating original ideas. Therefore, when the rest of the world is still figuring out the question, the ADHD brain has already written, deleted, rewritten, therefore submitted 3 different answers. In business, the person with the most ideas wins. But more importantly, the person who can't turn their brain off wins even faster. The second reason is hyperfocus. Everyone loves to talk about how people with ADHD can't focus, but nobody talks about what happens when they actually find something interesting. The brain locks in, completely. Scientists link this to dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. But the short version is this: the ADHD brain runs on low dopamine most of the time. Therefore, the moment it finds something it actually cares about, it goes full psycho mode trying to keep that feeling alive. We're talking 12 hours of work with no bathroom breaks, no food, no concept of what day it is. Your competitor is checking Instagram every 8 minutes, but the person with ADHD just built an entire business plan in one sitting because they found it interesting. Therefore, they simply could not stop. The third reason is that they act before fear can stop them. Most people have a great idea, but then spend 3 months making a pros and cons list. But the ADHD brain skips all of that completely. Impulsivity is one of the core traits of ADHD. Therefore, research from the Technical University of Munich confirmed that entrepreneurs with ADHD make fast decisions under uncertainty without falling into anxiety or paralysis. They don't overthink, but that's not because they're reckless. It's because their brain genuinely doesn't give them enough time to talk themselves out of it. Honestly, that's not a flaw. Therefore, it ends up being the single biggest advantage in rooms where everyone else is frozen. The fourth reason is that they are built for chaos. Traditional jobs have structure, routine, repetition. But for the ADHD brain, that environment is basically slow torture. Studies confirm that people with ADHD are far more likely to leave standard employment, but not because they planned a grand exit strategy. It's usually because they sat in one too many pointless meetings. Therefore, something in their brain quietly said, no more. But entrepreneurship is unpredictable, fast-moving, always changing. Therefore, it is the exact environment where the ADHD brain finally wakes up. The same setting that burns everyone else out is the setting the ADHD brain was secretly designed for. The fifth reason is their relationship with risk. Building wealth requires you to bet on yourself when the outcome is completely uncertain, but most people can't handle that emotionally. The ADHD brain is wired differently. Therefore, risk doesn't trigger the same dread response it does in others. It triggers curiosity. Research has directly linked ADHD traits to significantly higher risk tolerance compared to people without the condition. But the key detail is why. Because the brain is always chasing dopamine. Therefore, uncertainty feels less like danger and more like a game worth playing. Most people see a risky investment and freeze. The person with ADHD sees it, therefore immediately starts calculating how fast they can move. So if you have ADHD and you've spent your whole life being told you're the problem, understand this: you were never broken, but you were absolutely in the wrong environment. The classroom was designed for one type of brain, but yours wasn't that type, therefore it suffered. The corporate world rewards people who follow rules quietly, but you weren't built to follow rules quietly. Therefore, you kept getting in trouble for existing too loudly. But here's the truth. The same brain that couldn't sit still is the brain that generates ideas on demand, locks in for 12 hours when it matters, moves faster than fear, thrives in chaos. Therefore, bets on itself when nobody else will. The richest people in the world didn't succeed in spite of their ADHD. They succeeded because of it. If this video gave you a new way of seeing yourself, subscribe, because there is a lot more where that came from.